Hello, thank you so much for joining me today while we talk about what the deal is with the newest platform, Threads, and whether or not it's something you want to incorporate into your business. My name is Ashley Gould. I am the owner and creative nut behind Cinis Marketing, a full service marketing firm located in Waterloo region that has clients all over Canada. Without further ado, grab a coffee and let's get started. So let's start with what is Threads, right? You've probably heard it in passing. Maybe you've been on the app, maybe you haven't. For this tutorial, I'm going to pretend that you have no idea what it is and we're going to dive in head first. So let's start with what Meta wants us to know. Meta owns Threads, Instagram, and Facebook. So Meta said that Threads is a new app that was built by Instagram's team to share text updates and join in public conversations. You log into your Instagram account, and posts can be up to 500 characters long. You can include links, photos, and videos up to 5 minutes in length in your Threads content. So, in a nutshell, that's what Threads is. When Threads was released, people were actually quite confused about what they were supposed to be posting on it. Is it like a Twitter X? Is it like what kind of platform is it? Is it a Facebook? How do we use it? So the head of Instagram, his name's Adam Mosseri, actually came out and said in his own Threads post what Threads is for. And I think it's a fantastic resource as we get into this topic. So I thought I would share it with you here. For those of you thinking about what to post here on Threads versus on Instagram, my take is it's less about text versus photo and video and more about public conversations you want to have. Do you want to engage in more of a back and forth? Threads make sense. If not, probably Instagram. I think this is a great way of looking at Threads and realizing that it really is meant to be a conversational platform. The way that it's structured and the things we're going to go through and the pros and cons and how to use it mean it's something where it's like a chat platform is what they're trying to create. So similar to what Twitter used to be back in the day and to Mastodon and that kind of an app. The difference being that because it is also incorporated with Instagram, you actually have a greater audience reach and a greater use early. So we are going to go through in the next couple slides the pros and cons because I'm sure you've heard a million rumors about this new app. Let's start with the pros. I'll start where I left off on the last screen, which is that Threads falls under the Meta umbrella and can be shared right into the Instagram app. So if you've already spent a bunch of time in your business growing your Instagram audience and you want to grow a Threads audience, you can post your content on Threads and then share it into your Instagram stories, allowing your existing audience to see that you're on this new platform and to click through and interact with you on Threads through Instagram. So it's probably one of the first platforms that I'm aware of where we've been able to cross post between the platforms, trying to get our audience to follow us on a journey to another app, which is kind of a neat concept. Curiosity about Meta and about Threads in general, as well as all of the conversation that has surrounded Twitter and X and Elon Musk in general, led to Threads being the fastest growing app in history, which is pretty exciting if you think about it, that we're getting to a point where social media is now marketing its own apps to the point that they're growing at rapid speed. What I like about Threads is that the algorithm and plan ensure that the information is accurate. A lot of people who have left platforms like X have done so because there's a lot of opinion. And unfortunately, it's a lot harder to figure out what is real information. They are trying on Threads to make sure that that's not the case in this instance. Posts are both for your followers and people the algorithm thinks you should follow based on interactions with the platform. So that's beneficial to business because they're already showing you more organic content than you're seeing on other social media platforms. For example, on most platforms, 2% of your audience sees your posts, right? So 2% of other people's audiences are seeing their posts, meaning you're only seeing a very small snippet of what they think you would enjoy following. On Threads, what they're doing is they're actually trying to get engagement up. And to do so, they're saying, you know what, you're really into bathroom remodeling. So we're going to show you posts from other businesses and people posting about bathroom remodeling because this seems to be something you're interested in. This little snippet and how quiet it is in this space because there's no ads yet is a huge part of why Threads is not an awful idea for your business. I'm going to play Switzerland through all of this. I feel like I should interject and say, so realistically, I'm not going to tell you to use it or not to use it. I'm just going to give you all of the information so that you can make an educated decision for your business. It is hoping to become the prominent conversation and news-centric social media platform, and that is what it's working towards. And because of that, the other pro and the last thing I want to touch on is that they are actually doing a great job of listening to their audience and seeing what parts are not in the platform that people want to see there. So even between the time that I record this and send it to you and the time that you watch this, there could be some variations on Threads that I don't address today because that quickly they're working on changing the platform, which is actually a really neat concept and not something that happens very often in this industry where things are moving at this speed. So, as Switzerland, I gave you all the pros. Now I have to give you the cons, right? Realistically, Threads is a new platform, and new platforms are always unpredictable. You have no idea what's going to happen with a platform until it's spent some time living in our little universe, the metaverse, whatever we want to call it, our digital landscape. So, even though things sound great now, who knows what it'll be in a year or two? Who knows where it's going to go? And that can cause hesitation. And I do think that that therefore makes it fall into the cons category. Also, to delete Threads after you've activated it, you do have to delete your whole Instagram account. And that one has scared a lot of people away from Threads because you've spent all this time, money, resources to create this Instagram following for your business. The last thing you want to do is have to delete it to get rid of Threads. Now, to play devil's advocate, though, my question to all my clients when we've had this conversation is why are you deleting it? When in reality, you do have the option to just not be posting on it, but still have a Threads account, right? So, even though your name will still show up there, you don't have to be interacting on the platform. You just have to have the Threads account available to keep your Instagram account. So, though this is definitely a con, I don't think it's as scary as some people are making it out to be at this point in time. That said, maybe I'll be proven wrong. As Switzerland, I'm just trying to give you all the facts, right? It's also not incorporated with the interoperable networks. So that means that right now, a lot of sites link together and have like an open source sharing. Mastodon does that, X is doing that. They're not, but it is something they're working towards. And by the time you watch this video, this could already not be a con. However, at the current time, it's one of the biggest things that people are a little bit leery about. It's the fastest declining usage in history. And people are like the news this week, the week I'm doing this, it's August 2023. People are going on and on about how they can't believe how fast usage went down. But I'm actually not that surprised because of how fast usage went up. It broke all the records of usage in its first couple of weeks because people were curious. Just because usage went down doesn't mean people aren't using the platform. It just means it's no longer moving at warp speed, which makes sense because everybody who was curious has now logged in. Some people are still using the platform, some are leery. Everybody's kind of making their decisions as they go. So it's kind of come down to a more normal amount of followers and feeds and everything that's moving there. So though it's a con that there's been a decrease, you have to look at the fact that it just had, I mean, it's only been around for a month and a half at this point, and the increase broke every record there is in social media history. So it's a con, but not necessarily a bad thing. And as Switzerland, I feel I need to tell you that. I think the biggest concern that's going to come in here is that Meta has decided that across their platforms, because of the new Canadian legislation on social media platforms, they will not be sharing news content over the next few months. And I hope that, like in other countries, this is something that can be solved between Meta and our government. However, to backtrack and give you an idea, our government is saying that our news articles, our news and the articles that they're sharing shouldn't be able to be shared for free on social media, because then there's no royalty and kickback and whatnot to the actual business as well as other things. And as such, were in arguments and conversations with the social media platforms about how they can fix that problem. And Meta's solution is just not to post news articles on our social media feeds anymore in Canada. That's going to be huge, because if, as a conversational platform, a large portion of a conversation comes from the fact that you are following something, or it's based on something, or it's on some fact, and that often comes from a news article. So that's a con that I think is fairly large right now for them, for Mastodon, who may end up falling into the same category, or X. They haven't said how they're dealing with this yet. Meta, I think, is trying to get out ahead a little bit in terms of this issue, but the outcome's to be decided right now. Right now, though, that is a fairly large con for the future of Threads. I always start with my ramble and then I get into the fun stuff. So the ramble's over. You've got your pros, you've got your cons. Your brain is probably going a mile a minute right now while you try and figure out what you're actually going to do with the information I just threw at you at rapid pace. So take a minute, have another sip of coffee, and we will switch back now to how to actually use Threads. So you're making the decision. Am I not? I'm assuming you're going to start a Threads account, and I'm going to show you how to create one really simply on the next couple slides. Starting off couldn't be easier. The first thing you want to do is download the free Threads app from your mobile device. The reason I chose the image I did to show you over here is that there are other apps called Threads. So you want to make sure you have the one with the @ symbol in the circle, and that it has reference to Instagram, because that's the actual Threads that we're talking about right now, as opposed to the other apps called Threads, which often have to do with puzzling, gaming, and that kind of stuff. So from what I found anyways. So the first thing you want to do is just download it from the App Store. Now that you've got it downloaded, you want to make sure that your business's Instagram account is logged in on the same device. To do that, you're going to actually open your Instagram app, not the Threads app, and you're going to log in as your business. You do have the option to switch between accounts in your Instagram app. So you just want to make sure you're not on your personal account or a different business account, and that you're signed in as your business before you get to the next step. Now that you're certain you're logged into your business account on Instagram, you want to open the Threads app on your phone, and you want to click log in with Instagram, as you can see on the side of my screen here. Next, because you're a business and you actually want to be growing this page, you want to make sure you choose a public profile. If you choose a private profile and you make people follow you, you're going to gain less followers, and people aren't actually going to see you in that algorithm I talked about earlier, where they're showing like-minded content that they think you want to see. So make sure you choose to make your profile public. Now you'll be taken to a screen where you have the option to follow the same accounts that you're following on Instagram. You can go through and follow whoever you want, and you do have the ability to come back to this in the search function later. So don't panic if you don't have time and you press skip. But that's it. You are now signed into Threads. It is not scary. It is not hard. It is not time consuming, but you can see how you've literally integrated it into your Instagram account, and they've now become one and the same. Okay. I get it. I understand. I know that you're thinking, hold on a second here. You've spent all this time sitting here with us talking about how to use Threads, what Threads is, the pros and cons of Threads. You've called yourself Switzerland. You're supposed to be the marketing person. How do I market on Threads? And the answer is actually very simple. It's important you have all of that information before you decide whether Threads is good for your business, because the only way to post on Threads now is to put time, energy, and commitment into having a continual feed of posts happening on Threads. If you post once in a while, you may grow a little, but you actually want to dedicate some time and energy into Threads if this is a platform that you want to start using specifically for marketing for your business. There is nothing wrong with setting up your Threads account and leaving it there so that you gain followers at this point, and then deciding later if you want to market on it. That's actually what a large amount of my clients have done at this point, because they want to see where things go in the future, but they want to have that account there so that if people are, in that step where they see their followers on Instagram that are on threads that they can now follow, they're following their business, right? But there are people who are like, no, threads is the thing. I'm excited. It's time. Let's start marketing on threads. And that's what this page is all about. So the answer to how to market on threads is really simple because threads does not have paid advertising right now. It is a very quiet platform in terms of advertising. Businesses that are on threads have to be using their posts as their way of interacting with their audience. So you want to be posting quite frequently because there is no option to set an ad, pay money, and have it show to certain people at this time. Now, again, it's August 2023. By the time you see this, that may no longer be the case. But as of right now, because of how fast Threads is moving, that's how it works. You also want to be engaging with your prospects, your clients, and your friends. If people see you on the platform, they're likely to follow your business on the platform. If people don't see you interacting, they don't know you're there, and they're not playing on the follow page all the time, they may not end up following your business, and you're not going to get that traction to grow your page and grow your audience on threads. You also want to go through the follow page and follow your prospective audience. The reason for this is that if you follow them and they get a notification that they're being followed by you, there's a good chance they'll follow you back. And even if they don't, you're in their brain a little bit, right? And what is the business rule? We have to hit people 5 to 7 times before, not hit, but like hit as in interact, 5 to 7 times before our audience is actually ready to talk to us. So following your prospective audience is a great way to add your sales and marketing techniques together and have fun with it. The more fun your content is, the more fun your comments are, the more fun you're having, or your business voice is having on the platform, the more fun it will be of an experience for other people and the more likely they are to interact with you. So now you're all Threads pros, right? You know how to sign in, you know how to market on it. You don't need me anymore. What am I even talking still for? You're like, Ashley, how is this still going? I thought this was the end. But here's the reality. There are some sneaky tips and tricks about things you can and can't post on Threads that I actually got from Ripple, a social media advertising platform that I follow and use, that has some great content that even I didn't know. So I figured I would put a couple quick slides in and share it with you so that you also are that one step ahead when it comes to threads. So the first part comes back to the very first slide I sent you, but that was a long time ago. So let's sum that part up, shall we? What can I post on threads? Okay. The answer is simple: text up to 500 characters, images and photos up to 10, videos that are up to 5 minutes, links, and carousels. Carousels is when you put many photos together and people can swipe through them. This is a fantastic array of content to be able to work with if you are making threads part of your marketing repertoire. What can't I post on threads? This one I actually debated not putting in, again, because it's August 2023. Threads is moving fast, and I don't know how long this will be actual fact for, but I want to make sure you know it right now. So the things that you can't use on threads right now are hashtags. So don't worry about hashtagging your post because it's not going anywhere. Direct messaging, it doesn't integrate into that DM side of Instagram yet, or ads, as we've talked about before. So right now, those three things are not available on threads. There are also other things not available on threads right now, but those are the kind of the big three. So that's why I thought, you know what, I might as well put this in here and in 45 seconds or less, tell them how it works. Now for those pro tips from Ripple, even I didn't know. The first one is if you hit return 3 times the end of your post, it creates a new inline reply thread. I did not know that until I was researching to create this. The second is if you tap the plus on a profile picture on a thread's feed, you can follow an account in a single click. Very simple and user effective. The third is that your Instagram profile picture automatically transfers to threads, but you can add whatever photo you want into the profile section. So if you find that it works better for you to have a different photo on Instagram than you do for threads, no problem at all. Just go to threads and go to your settings and you'll be able to change that there as well. And I wouldn't be a business owner if I didn't finish this with a shameless plug. If you are looking for help in anything digital marketing, please feel free to contact Cinis Marketing today. We are here and ready to help with your digital marketing needs, social media management, digital marketing, branding, web design, you name it, we're here. Have a great day and thank you so much for joining me for this course.